Folks file unemployment claims, it's taking a toll on New Jersey's unemployment insurance fund, which already has run out of money. The state is currently borrowing money from the federal government to replenish the fund. But come July, a payroll tax could kick in to send money to the account, and businesses in the Garden State are not happy, as you can imagine. Joining me right now, Paul Tyahla, who is Vice President of Government Affairs for the Commerce and Industry Association of New Jersey, and Jim Walsh, she's the Program Director for New Jersey Citizen Action. Welcome to you both. Now, I know, Mr. Tyahla, you are against this tax. Why?
We're against it for two reasons. The reason that the insurance tax increase is likely to kick in is because the unemployment insurance fund is broke. Now, the fund is filled by two sources, a tax on companies and a tax on workers, but companies pay about 85% of that. And the primary reason that the unemployment insurance fund is broke is because the legislature has taken $4.5 billion out of it in the last 15 years. And so it's our position, not that people who are out of work shouldn't be paid their employee benefits, is that the legislature needs to find this money from someplace else in the budget to replenish it and to avoid this $350 million tax increase.
Should businesses be hit with this tax during this tough economic time?
Well, you've hit the nail right on the head. This is a very tough economic time, and a lot of people are having a really difficult time right now. You know, the reality is in last year's budget, the governor put over $200 million into the unemployment fund to actually prevent this tax from going through on businesses last year. And this year has actually put over $100 million into that fund, as well as infusions from the federal government to help offset these. So the state is doing things to offset these costs to businesses. And the resources that come out of the unemployment, the people who collect money from there, that's the income that they have that they wouldn't have otherwise. That money is going to be spent in local businesses in their community, spent on necessities and needs. And so we need to make sure that resources continue to be in that cut, put into the unemployment insurance fund. You know, one of the things that we believe, if we want to help small businesses in the state, we're looking at, you know, this unemployment insurance increase. It would probably be about $90 per employee. That is nothing compared to the price businesses are paying for health care costs right now in New Jersey. We want to improve the economy, improve the position of small businesses in our state. Then we need to tackle health care. We need to make sure that people have access to quality, affordable health care. That's the way to turn our economy around and help small businesses.
First, the $500 million or so that the governor's put in the last couple of years is appreciated. But that doesn't nearly make up for the $4.5 billion that they've taken from it already. And secondly, you know, to take this $350 million out of the pockets of businesses that are going to need to create jobs to get us out of this economy is just the worst possible tactic. You know, one of the questions we're always asked is, well, where would you take the money from?
Exactly.
You know, former Governor Keene and former Governor Byrne came out this week and said, we probably waste more money through educational K-12 inefficiencies than any place else in the state. If we kept K-12 funding flat in the state, didn't make any cuts, we'd still have America's highest paid teachers, we'd spend more per pupil than any place else on the planet, and we'd have the lowest student-teacher ratio in the country. And so that's one avenue where we can look into, and to kind of take that off the table, but to automatically go into this unemployment insurance tax increase is just wrong.
Where else could this money come from?
We've seen enough gimmicks in the state with budget fixes and things like that. And what we're talking about here, what is being suggested, is really a shell game. If you cut state aid to municipalities and put less resources in for education, what's going to happen? Our individual homeowners are going to see their property taxes go up because schools are being straddled with those same health care costs that everybody else is being cost. They can't stop those. And keeping funding flat really winds up meaning a cut in services and education quality. Because what happens is the schools don't have the resources to keep up with inflation.
What is the best solution now? I mean, we have no choice, it sounds like, right?
Yeah. I think what we need to do is continue to really invest in our state and invest in our future. That's the way to rebuild and renew New Jersey. We need to put resources into education. We need to put resources into health care. I also think an important investment to make is in building clean energy. New Jersey is poised to be a leader in solar and wind power.
We've talked about that many times, and green jobs.
Absolutely. We can create tremendous job opportunities in the state by investing resources into those industries and ensuring that workers have the health care coverage they need when they become unemployed, which is something that isn't talked about, will help make the economy stronger. And investing money in education will help build a strong workforce who is more educated and able to move our state forward.
New Jersey's a high-tax state. It's the highest tax state in the nation. and yet we're broke. So something clearly is dysfunctional. Now, part of that something is the recession, and there's no denying that that's a significant part. But the other part of it is that there are inefficiencies within our government that we haven't begun to look at, going back, before the 2006 special session on property tax reform. For the unemployment insurance fund, something else we can do to secure it long term is we can pass a constitutional amendment to prevent future raids on not only unemployment, but this year's budget depends on raiding of the disability insurance fund. So locking those up, preventing future legislatures from taking from it will help us avoid this position ever again.
Well, gentlemen, looks like right now we have to just wait for this to happen in July in the summer. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.